So I'd like to give you a quick tour of how you can navigate our course. So I'll start here on the home page. You'll notice that each week you log in, you're going to see a welcome message from me, and it details everything you need to do for the week, as well as a time estimate for how much time you might expect to spend. So don't be surprised when you log in from week to week and this message is different. I'll archive all of the old messages so you can always get back to read them. Everything you need to navigate our course is located over here on the left-hand side. So let's just start and kind of go down the list. The first section you can see over here is the course information section. And this contains all of the important course documents, some common terminology that you'll come across in our course, and finally, expectations for you in the course. The professor information section has information about me and my research interest. And you'll also find my Twitter feed here, so you can always see what I'm tweeting out. Okay, next we have the weekly module section. And this is where you'll find all of the content for the course. So you never have to worry about having fragmented information throughout the course. Everything you need for a given week will be housed within that week's folder. And don't worry that you didn't see weeks 2, 3, 4, and 5. Those will be opened at the beginning of each week. So within week 1, you'll see the layout that we're going to have for each module. And you'll remember that Explore, Learn, Connect, Collaborate, and Experiment, Apply model. And so under the Explore, Learn section, the first thing you'll find is a soft chalk lesson, which is the content that I've written for this course. And you can either click here on this link to get to it or on the soft chalk icon. You can think of these lessons as the textbook for this course. Underneath the soft chalk lesson, you'll see the course orientation videos, which you're actually watching right now, and that's just for week 1. And finally, you'll see the student pre-course survey. So that's all within the Explore, Learn part of week 1. So let me show you really quickly how to navigate the soft chalk lesson. Again, you can click here or on the icon, and it's going to pop open a new window. So you can always get back to our Blackboard course just by toggling between the 2 tabs that are open. When you're inside a soft chalk lesson, you'll see navigation options up here in the left-hand corner. So you can skip to any page within the module just by clicking on the page and then the section of the module. Likewise, you can also just click on the next button and navigate sequentially through each page. You also have a next and previous and return to top option here at the bottom of each page. So you're going to work your way through this soft chalk, and you'll notice that it's going to have text and images and text popovers and embedded polls and video. It's really some rich content that I prefer much more over a static print textbook. So you'll see also some little activities throughout your soft chalk lessons where you can double check your knowledge of some content. And like I said, some embedded polls here. So you're just going to work your way through each page of the soft chalk as the content in our course. One other option you'll want to look at is this print all option up here in the upper right hand corner. So when you click on that, it opens up a new tab and you can actually print out all of the text within the soft chalk lesson. Some people like that in order to print out and highlight as they're looking through it. So once you're through with the lesson, both the print version or just the web page version, you can actually X out of this tab and you're going to be right back here in our Blackboard course ready to move on to the next section of the module. So for instance, right now you're in the course orientation videos and you'll keep going on to the pre-course survey and just follow sequentially all of the steps within the module until you get to the very end. And you'll notice the last step in the module is to complete the completion verification form, which is just your chance to let us know that you've completed all of the required activities for a given week. So you'll just click on those, confirm that you've completed the deliverables. If you wouldn't mind filling out the motivation scale for how motivated you felt that week, just for my research purposes, and also filling in any questions or things that you'd like us to talk about in the next week's live broadcast, and then click submit. And that form will let us know that you've completed all of the activities for the week. So that is a weekly module. So to get back to any other section in our course, I can of course go anywhere over here on the left-hand menu, but I could also click on what's called our breadcrumbs up here at the top. So from week 1 I could go back to where I was just before, which was weekly modules, and click there as my breadcrumb. If you want to go to the home page, you can either click here on course homepage or here on the little home icon. So let's continue on. There's another section in the course called the virtual hallway, and this is where you can access not only your virtual bulletin board, but the virtual discussion forum called the virtual hallway. And so you'll see that this is a place where you can have social conversation, crowdsource your questions. It's really just a place to ask anything and to ask the entire class anything. And it's set up just like a normal discussion forum usually is. All you do to create a post is click on Create Thread. Likewise, you can just click on Reply to reply to someone else's post. And the last part of the virtual hallway area is a Twitter feed, which compiles all of the tweets for the hashtag TarletonOOC. And so starting in week 2, you're going to start to see lots of tweets in this feed because each of you are required to send a tweet to hashtag TarletonOOC. And this little widget here just compiles all of those tweets if your profile is set to public. Alright, so let's move on over here to the email portion of the course. So this is a place where you can send an email to anyone in the course. So this first option, all users, you could send an email to all users in the course. I wouldn't recommend doing that necessarily, but you could also send something just to your team, or the option that you'll probably use the most is the select users option. And you'll be able to go through and select anybody in the course to send an email to. Now, one thing to mention about this is that it actually sends an email to your external email address. And so that's the address that you gave us in the very beginning when you signed up for this course. After week 2 and you set up your Gmail account and you want to change your email that it's forwarding to your Gmail address, I'll give you instructions for doing that, and you can find them in the Getting Help or Online Success Toolbox area of the course. The next section is the class roster, and you'll see that it's just a list of every team in the course and a list of who's on that team and where they're from in terms of where they teach or where they're going to school. So it's just a quick way to see if you can recognize anybody from other districts or within your own district as a participant in the course. Okay, so next up we have the My Grades portion of the course, and this is where you go to check your grades and see what feedback your team lead or I have given you. So you can see when you first click on it, the only things you're going to see for week 1 are your introduction discussion post and your week 1 reflection grades. And just to give you an idea here, you'll see any feedback that's given by your team lead in terms of just text here, and you can kind of scroll down if you need to see the rest of it. But if you want to see the detailed feedback from the rubric, click on View Rubric. That's going to pop open all of the grading rubrics that the team leads use when they're grading your work. And you'll be able to see in terms of each level of criteria how you did on that level, and also you can see that text-based feedback here in a little more detail. So you can just click out of exit there and come back. One thing to notice too is you have to roll over whichever assignment it is to click on View Rubric. When you're just looking at it like this, it looks like there's not any rubrics there, but there is if you roll over it. Another thing to mention here is you'll start to see week 2 stuff the day week 2 starts, week 3, and so on sequentially as we go. Okay, next up is the Online Success Toolbox. And this is just an area for those of you who've never taken an online course before, or for those of you who haven't taken one in a while, to get some tips for success in an online course. So it just has resources, common terminology and tools. It's a complete glossary that you can actually print out, download and print out here, that has a little bit more than what's in the course information section. There's an FAQ section with lots of questions that were asked last year and the answers to those questions. Again, using my breadcrumbs to go back, if I scroll down past the FAQs, there is a Getting Acclimated to Blackboard Features section, and that's just for getting to know the tools within Blackboard just a little bit more than what you have in this series of videos that I've created for you. Okay, back over here on the left, the last section is Getting Help. This is an important section. We have two wonderful support leads this semester, Adam Hull and Jana Courtney, which you can see listed here on this cool little graphic that I made. But anytime that you need to contact, anytime that you need help for anything, the first step is to call 254-968-1960 or the toll-free 866 number, option 3. That's going to get you to the Blackboard Help Desk, and they'll be able to help you with anything technical related to the course. But if you have any questions about content or the tools that we're using, they'll be able to transfer you to either Adam, Jana, or me during the day, and we'll be able to help you with your question or your issue. So again, this is important information right here for you to write down and keep close to your computer as you're taking the course. One last section over here on the left is your groups, and it'll show team collaborators for this particular student that I'm logged in as. But if you're on Ignite or if you're on Innovators, it's going to say your team name over here just as a reminder. And like I said, there's not anything listed under here other than the group members that are on your team. Okay, so we made it through the entire course. I have a few subsequent videos I've created to get into a little bit more detail, for example, about the syllabus and the course schedule, but this is it for navigating our course.